Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel, but also first official welcome to our garden. I know on YouTube I usually share a bunch of mindset tips and EFT tap-alongs and manifestation hacks, which don't worry, those aren't going anywhere. But instead of just showing you how I create what I consider my most magical life so far using those techniques, I wanted to show you parts of that life and the parts that are really fun and fulfilling and bring me so much joy and truly magic in this world. And one of those is gardening. And if you follow me over on Instagram, I have been spamming y'all with this project because it has been a dream of mine since we bought this house 3 years ago. Like, I have been visualizing these exact beds and these beautiful arches, which, by the way, shout out to my wife. She did an amazing job building all this, and I couldn't have done it without her. So thank you, Sasha. This has just been a big dream of ours, and it's really exciting to see that it's finally here. So this is how we built our beds and expanded our garden, and hopefully it'll give you some inspiration to start finding hobbies that you really enjoy and bring a lot of just fulfillment and fun to your life. So if you think gardening may be one of them, keep watching because I'm going to show you how we did it, and also throughout the season I'm going to show you how things are growing in, what's blooming, what we're harvesting, all of that kind of stuff. So I'm excited for this new chapter together, and let's get into it. Let's get gardening. You need some of this? You need some of this? So I should probably start this off by saying that my wife and I are not professionals. Well, wait, actually that's a lie. My wife does do construction for a living, so technically these beds are professionally built. But as you saw, it's literally just 4 planks of cedar put together in a rectangle with some screws, and then a little 4x4 post in the corner to keep it all together. So building the actual beds is fairly simple, but what I meant by we're not professionals, this is only our 3rd year gardening. When we bought this house, we just had 1 raised bed, and this year we decided to expand to now 5, plus a bunch of vertical arches, which I'll show you in a moment, to hopefully maximize our space here, because being in Vermont, we have a fairly short growing season. So I'm trying to get as much into these beds as possible. And you see in the video right now, after we had them built, all I did was place some cardboard on the bottom to smother out the weeds, and then add in some twigs and leaves so there's organic material to break down and help feed our plants over time. But it also helps fill up the bottom of the bed, because soil can be quite a pretty penny. And if you would like a cost breakdown of this whole project and like a detailed how-to, let me know in the comments below. I'd be more than happy to share that with you. And then we repeated that process all over again the next day of building and filling these beds in our other gardening space. And you'll notice behind us there is already an arch there. And that is because last year I was testing this area using just containers to see if it got enough sunshine for my plants to grow up and over the arch, which is actually a really great tip if you are new to gardening or your property. Using containers allows you to move things around and test everything out to find the best possible place for your plants. And using containers also saves you a lot of money. I want to remind you that gardening doesn't have to be expensive. You don't have to have raised beds. You can use containers like we are over here on our patio, the soil you already have on the ground. You could go to seed swaps or even save seeds from your own food. There are so many ways you can grow your own food for free, and I actually read a really insightful book on that last year, so I will link it below in my Amazon along with anything else I think you might find helpful. This feels like a really special moment because we are about to add the last thing to this expansion. All we need is our vertical garden, our archway to go between these two beds, and the dream is done. I have been seeing this in my head for so many years, like since we bought this house 3 years ago, and it's almost here. Mind you, we still have to put plants in, so another couple months until I have a beautiful arch overflowing with cantaloupe and watermelon and loofahs, but we're right there. I'm so excited. As you saw, the first step to this cattle panel arch is just driving these fence posts, or T-posts as they call them, into the ground. And we got these at Tractor Supply, but you can find them and all of the materials we used at any local hardware store most likely. So once those posts were in the ground, we dug a little trench for the cattle panels to sit in and then bent it into place and just secured it with zip ties. And looking back at it now, I probably could have done a shorter panel. This one is 16 feet long, and it's a pretty high arch, but I'm still really happy with how it all turned out. And here's the moment you have been waiting for, I'm sure. The before and the after. More like the during, though. As Walt Disney said, as long as there is imagination left in this world, Disneyland will never be complete. And that quote feels really true for this garden and this home. As long as I have some creativity left in me, it'll always be a work in progress. So make sure to subscribe to follow along and watch how all of this grows in. And if this inspired you to start a garden this year, or if you already have one going, I would love to hear what you're growing down below in the comments. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. We enjoyed making this video, and we'll see you next time. That may be the YouTube.